Hello, I'm Ragioma and this is Witness. The traditional image of a nurse was born on the battlefields of the Crimean War 150 years ago. Florence Nightingale, the lady with the lamp, epitomized self-sacrifice in providing care for the wounded and sick. Nurses in the 21st century are still driven by the same motives, but their own economic survival is as important as their patients' physical survival. In Ghana, Lydia Kwashie is a highly trained midwife, but with a family of 8 to support, she can barely make ends meet. When Lydia moved to Britain, she made in a day what would have taken her a month back home. And she's not the only one to seek greener pastures abroad. Out of her class of 71 nursing graduates, more than half have left Ghana. It's hardly surprising. Conditions in even the best Ghanaian hospitals are dire. Patients line the corridors on makeshift stretchers, while their families have to forage for everything from drugs to bandages and food. Nurses are reduced to minimizing their patients' suffering. What is surprising is why any nurses stay. Kim Hopkins followed Lydia on her first trip back home to Ghana to share the conflicting emotions of pride, joy, guilt and hope. A nurse's story.
Betty Ajay, she's gone to US. Vida Bonds is gone to US. Dorothy Jebuni, she's also in US.
I'm Lydia Kwashie. I'm 48 years old. I arrived in the UK 60 months ago, leaving behind my family and friends. I had no choice. I needed to support my family.
41 out of 70. I think even there are more than that. About half of the class, they are not here. They are all gone outside the country.
Now I work as a carer in a nursing home in Sheffield, but I'm a skilled midwife with 30 years experience. I trained at Kolebu, the best teaching hospital in Ghana. Many of my colleagues are here for the same reasons.
We feel guilty, very, very guilty, but there is nothing we can do. But the only thing to do is to go away. If you push somebody, so much to the wall, that person has to pass through the wall. It's not nice. You have children, you have family. You leave them, you look back, you are crying. They are also crying, but you have to leave them. Why? Because you can't do anything, yeah.
I'm going back home for the first time since being in the UK. I can't wait to see my family. I miss them terribly. But I also want to see if anything has changed at Kolebu. I don't want to be in the UK forever. One day I want to go back home and be a nurse again in Ghana. Our family structure in Ghana is the extended family. 3 generations all live under the same roof.
That's my brother.
So you see, the money I send back home is essential. It pays for the kids to be educated, puts food on the table, it buys clothes, healthcare, everything.
Husband, that's my husband.
It wasn't easy for me. Look at all these ones. I have to take care of them. If you ask them individually, they will all tell you, I have to help the home. It's not been easy. My husband alone cannot take care of all of them. I have to help. And so I went to work to bring in money to help.
I couldn't wait for the next day to go to Kolebu Hospital. It's the best hospital in Accra, Ghana's capital city. It's where I trained and worked for so many years. I can't wait to see my colleagues.
This is the Department of Accident Center. I miss you a lot. I do miss you a lot.
They're all saying I look different.
Hello.
This is Helen, the night nurse on the emergency ward, my old ward.
I was once here. I was working here. Yeah. Thank you. I'm in UK. Yeah.
How many of you are on duty tonight?
I'm the only one on night duty, actually. The only nurse. No assistant, nothing whatsoever. Sometimes we can have as much as 28 patients. Yes. So it's quite a difficult situation we find ourselves in. But we do our best to help our patients. It's difficult to nurse this one alone without the mother. If the mother is not around, I'll have a really tough time at night. But her presence really makes a difference. Okay, so we'll put this patient here and then. Let's turn. Normally, the male patients end up there, somewhere there. But it looks like we have so many male patients that we don't have a choice but to allow them to come into the territory of the females, so to speak. Sometimes the place is so congested, as you can see. It's bad. The stench that comes out, and we have to swallow it in all the time. We feel it's affecting our health too. Right now, he's lying on the Macintosh, which is not very good for him. But there are times there are no sheets at all. We run short of sheets.
Conditions are still so difficult. I feel for them. Not only the patients suffer, but also the nurses. There are shortages of everything, even the basics. It makes the job so much more difficult.
We don't have what we need to work with most of the time. And the salary is very small, and so on. Other problems, transportation, and so many other things. So if someone decides to go, you can't just hold the person, you can't blame the person. So those of us who are left behind for the time being are managing. That is to say that we are also not going to stay if things don't change anyway. Yes. Good evening.
Sometimes I feel like coming back home to work in my own country to help them. But the stress that I see on their faces deters me from coming back.
There isn't even a proper ambulance service in Ghana. Badly injured patients have to arrive in the back of taxis. In the early hours, I watched as 6-year-old Vicentia arrives with first-degree burns. She's been in the back of the taxi for more than 1 hour. The duty doctor explains the extent of Vicentia's burns to the mother.
Plastic surgery. We first-degree burns. She had covered the hot water, which was in the bucket, with a towel. And accidentally, she was just walking, and she was going back. And then she accidentally tripped over the bucket and landed with her buttocks into the hot water. It's not so bad. I think we should be able to dress this. Do we have dressings?
Before the barrier, okay.
My former colleagues are curious about my new life in the UK. So the next day, I promised to talk to them.
What I've achieved since I left is more than what I got when I was here for over 25 years. If you can bear me out, I can show you some things.
We are also well trained in Ghana. We only need a brief adaptation course to work in the UK.
First of all, I completed my I've completed my adaptation, and then I've been given my PIN number. Okay. So I'm a qualified nurse over there. Yeah. Right. And then as a qualified, before you are given some salaries or things, they will prepare some. This one is my national insurance number card. You keep it, and then you know, some money is being deducting from your salary for your future benefits. And then I was saying that 16 months now since I went. Right. I've got my place. I've got my own place.
Great.
I have my car.
Great.
I have everything that somebody should have for, working in this country for 30 years. I have all of that within a year.
At least we all want to enjoy some of these facilities, you know. We all want to be better off, you know, because like she said, some of us have also been working for years now, but, you know, with virtually nothing. You know, you collect your salary, by the end of the month, it's all gone. It's finished. So you can't even save anything for the future of your children, you know, paying their bills, fees, and so on. So it's a difficult situation we find ourselves in. But looking at the conditions we are in, we are forced to move out.
With the situation so dire, why would anyone choose to stay? We'll find out after the break. Hello and welcome back to Witness. Africa is desperately short of health workers, but the temptation to work abroad is great. Some say the brain drain of essential skills is encouraged by Western countries. Ghanaian nurses would have to work for a month to make what it would take them a day to earn in the West. So the brain drain is in full flood.
Now I'm heading for the children's ward. I want to see how Vicentia is being looked after.
Hello.
As usual, this ward is overflowing, but Vicentia is nowhere to be seen. Then I find her another day later, and she's still on the same wooden bench in the hospital corridor.
We said, "You crony man, no, you didn't buy Hassie. You didn't buy no much essay, and penny horror to 1 hour and ransom. Nature crime you could call no back essay, and penny be about mattress in this soup to say, me got on mattress in it to Sunam Switch and say, me kitesca, and to say, me could vouch now, me catch and Nase, and be our pacoto."
Unlike in the UK, in Ghana, we have what we call the cash and carry system. It means everything has to be paid for. Medical care, medicine, bandages, disinfectant, towels, even mattresses. No money can mean no treatment.
He was knocked down in the morning, so we are waiting for the relatives to bring his towel and things. We clean him, make him neat and put him in bed. There's this unknown female patient here who for some time now relatives haven't visited or looked for. We identify her as unknown female. There were 3.
Right.
There were 3.
Yeah.
2 of them have recovered. They are in the female ward. So I feel a journey. Towel or be uncle farmer. Towel buckets. We told you we needed it to clean him. See, these are some of the things we experience. Now we need to clean him. They're telling us they are not living around, so it will be difficult for us to get things to clean him. It is a end day. When you're cafe, one towel, buckets, that's all. Okay, but we wash him completely before we put him. I'm telling them to get the things because we need to clean him. Sometimes you see when you are knocked down, the casualties, they'll fall in gutters. There'll be a lot of blood on them and things. So we clean them, make them nice and comfortable in bed. But in this situation, see, We don't know what to do. They don't buy them. They don't replace them. They think it's the government who have provided them. So we need to give them to them free. But it's not the government.
There are times people come to the hospital. We, the nurses, have to buy, certain things for them. You buy the dressings, you buy drugs, because you realize that the person cannot do it. And you can't leave that person to die.
It is still the same. And I left it like that, and I've come to meet it again. It's still the same. Yeah.
I know Vicentia's mother is struggling to find the money to pay for her daughter's treatment. I go with her to the pharmacy. She's had to wait all day for her husband to come back from work with money, just to buy paracetamol that her daughter needs.
It's not easy. In fact, I pity my people. I'm really pitying my people.
Giving life is so hard. I want to talk to my colleagues at the hospital about the reason they stay or why so many eventually just go.
As for instance, I've been here working in my country for 29 years. But me, I feel, I want to help my country. That's why I'm still around. Other than that, I would have gone a long time ago. All of us can't leave the country.
Let's say if all the nurses have been left to other places, who will take care of my children here? And even if I come to see my child died because unfortunately she didn't have a nurse to take care of her, I wouldn't feel happy. So if I'm being taken good care, Mr. Abbey, we can't compare ourselves to the developed countries, fine. But the little bits that will be done for us to be satisfied, if it is done, fine, we will stay behind.
But you must know, nurses right now in this hospital that are planning to leave?
Yes, I know, people are planning really hard to leave, yes. Yeah. Some of them ask for leave without pay, others just disappear.
Finally, I hear some good news. After 4 days, they found a bed for Vicentia.
This is emergency ward. She's supposed to go to plastic, but presently they don't have bed. So every other day we do dressing, depending on how soaked.
Vicentia's been so brave for days. Now she's finally going to get the treatment she needs in the plastic surgery department. Korle Bu is Ghana's best hospital. It has skilled staff, but not enough money. My colleagues tell me they are short of nearly half the staff they need. And in every department I visit, the story is the same. Nothing has changed since I left. It just seems more and more of us are leaving for Europe and America. Because in the UK, I can earn more in a day what I earn in a month in Ghana. We don't want to leave our friends, families, our people. It makes me sad. And we feel guilty. We know it's people like Vicentia who will suffer, but we are pushed into it. It's my last day at Korle Bu. I've come to say goodbye to Vicentia. I'm relieved to see Vicentia's burns are not as bad as we first thought, and she's responding to treatment. But even here in the plastic surgery ward, I meet a young nurse who is desperate to leave.
The chance comes, I'll leave. If I get it, I will leave. That's what I'll leave.
Church always makes me feel better about everything. It's a big part of my life in Ghana, and I miss it too. My visit to Korle Bu just confirmed for me the problem I left behind. I'm lucky. I have people back home to look after my children. And I feel sorry for those who haven't, who've worked all their lives in Ghana's health service. Many retire without a home, a car, not even a bicycle. I've decided to see if I can get some explanations from the people who run the health service. I want to know if things are ever going to get better. The Director General of the Health Service, Professor Costa, has agreed to see me.
I blame my government. The push factors are phenomenal. Because if my government is not prepared to put certain things in place, then I worry. And improving it is providing, systems where people can get mortgage and acquire a house, for people to be paid properly. People should have, facilities. If they want to own a car, by all means, let them own a car. And they should be able to look after their spouses and their children. We're waiting for the day when government will be bold enough to bite the cherry so that the health sector can move forward.
Yes, I'll come and serve my nation country, yeah. I'll come and serve Ghana. In 5 years' time, if it is really implemented, I'll come back. And I'm not coming alone, I'm coming with my friends. Yeah.
Despite Lydia's guilt, it's inevitable that other nurses like her from underdeveloped countries will be lured away from treating their own people to go and work in the West. That's it for now, but please join me next time for another edition of Witness.